Hello everyone, Dylan here, and welcome to Advent of Code 2025, Day 1. So in this series of videos, I'll be showing you how to solve this year's puzzles in Python, and if you're interested in the code, I'll leave it linked on GitHub down below in the description, so please take a look. Also, in my previous video, I showed you how you can download your puzzle input automatically with the Python script rather than having to copy and paste it. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at day 1. So after reading through this here, it seems like the elves need our help to finish decorating by December 12th. And of course, just like usual, we'll get 1 star per puzzle. Although I should mention this year, instead of having 25 days of puzzles, it seems like we will only have 12. So in this puzzle, we need to unlock a safe with a dial that has numbers 0 through 99. And it has a really long password where we're turning the lock right or left a number of turns or number of clicks. So basically our problem is to count how many times the dial is at 0 after completing an instruction. So let's go ahead and jump into the code. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into writing our code. The first thing we'll do is parse our input, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll open it up on the right side here. And as expected, we have an L or R for left or right, followed by a number of turns to do. So let's just go ahead and parse that input. Pretty simple today. We'll just return a list, and we will say that we'll return a tuple with a direction, which will be line 0, and an integer value of a number of turns to go, which will be line, everything after the first character, for line, and data. And I think that should be pretty good for now. So let's take a look at part 1. We'll need to count the number of times that we get to 0, so we'll start that off at 0. And we can say that the instructions for opening the safe will be equal to parse data. And I should probably pass data into here. That's coming from our main function. And after that, we can just say that our initial position is equal to 50. And for direction and value and instructions, we can just calculate the next position. We don't need to worry about if it goes past 0 or past 99. We'll take care of that. So the position will be plus the value if the direction is R, or else we want to subtract. So we do just -1 times the value. And of course that should be else, not or. And then to account for if the number went above 100 or below 0, then we can just mod the position by 100 for 100 numbers. And finally, if position is equal to 0, we can just increase the count. And at the end here, we'll just return the count. So if we go ahead and run this, then I get an answer of 1132. Let's go ahead and try it out. Okay, and there's our first gold star, so let's continue to part 2. Part 2, we're sure that's the right password, but it's not opening, so we're going to use this password method, which says we'll count the number of times any click causes the dial to point at 0, regardless of whether we end on 1. I see. So even if we turn past 0, we should count that in our count. So we could try to calculate it, but I'm just going to go for a simple approach and loop through all the dial turns and just count anytime it gets to 0. So let's go ahead and start. Again, our count will be 0, and our instructions will be equal to parsing the data. Again, our starting position will be 50, and this time for direction and value and instructions, and this time we are just going to change the position an equal number of times to the value, 1 position at a time. So we don't need to keep track of what position we're on, but we will say for underscore in range, and the range will just be the value. First, we'll go ahead and update our position. So if dir is equal to right, then position, we will add 1. Otherwise, let's subtract 1. And here's where the magic will happen. If position is equal to -1 or position is equal to 100, then we'll wrap back around, which we can again do by modding by 100. Then to account for if the position is 0, we will just check. So then if we just return our count again, let's go ahead and try that out. I get 6,623. And there we have it. There's our second gold star. So there you have day 1. Of course, it's the first day. It's really not so difficult, but I hope you found this video helpful. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Bye.